Hello, this is Mr. Ellis again. I'm going to do another video. This time we're going to talk about string operations, the string methods that we discussed in the last class. I'm going to use a class called string operations. And in order to perform these methods, I need a string. And of course you guys recognize this string. On the way to a shining moon. This is my favorite little phrase here. I'm going to perform string operations on this string. It is in a variable called comment. You could perform any of these methods on the string itself, but I find it less confusing to put the string into a variable first and then perform the operations. Okay. You can perform many operations on strings using these methods. You can perform substrings, pulling out strings from the total string, find a substring. You can find the index of individual characters, or you can connect two or more strings together. One of the most useful methods is to find the length of a string. That is done with the dot length. There are no parameters for length. It returns the actual integer value of the length of the array, the string array of char. Let's save this and execute. So this string I have created is of length 29. That can be valuable in that I could cut it in half or find certain characters in here. Toward the end, I know I can count backwards from 29, 28, 27, and so forth. Okay. Another useful method is to find the index of, or to find which char is in a specific index. The char at will return the char, one character, that is in the 17th position. Okay, let's see which char is in the 17th position. We find that H is in the 17th position. Now that's not it's not an amazing thing. You could have counted, but when you're dealing with strings that you haven't visualized or you haven't created yourself, that can be a valuable method. Another useful method is the contains method. It will search the string for any combination of characters and return a Boolean value. So if you're looking for a name or an address or a phone number in a record or in a string, then you can search that string for those specific characters and have a returned Boolean value. Let us see how that works. I'm going to search my string for ARAC, and it is in there, I'm sure. So let us perform this. It's not in there. So that particular combination of characters was not found in my test string. Another useful method is the concatenation or concant method. Concatenation means to add them together to create one string. I have one or more strings that I would like to create one string out of. In this case, I'm going to add what is known as plus comment to my comment, and the format of that is comment, which is my current string, dot concatenate. Okay. And you could put a string inside these parentheses and pass a string as a parameter, but like I said, I like to place them in variables so that I am a little more descriptive. Let me save and execute. And what we get is, on the way to a shining moon, someplace in orbit around Mother Earth. Okay. Now, that's not as remarkable as it seems. It can be a valuable statement, but you have to know what you're stringing together to make sense of the comment. Okay, one of the values of string operation is comparison. To compare two strings together, you must use the dot equals method of the string object. In this particular case, I'm going to place comment into a copy comment variable, okay? And then I'm going to check to see if they're equal. Of course they are equal, so we will, in our last video, we will find that we execute the then node or section of our if statement. Allow me to execute. It should say these are equal strings. Exactalacamundo. These are equal strings. Now let's change that a little bit so that it demonstrates the else node. I'm going to this is up the down street. Wrong way on a one-way street. Okay. Let's see, we should get the strings are not equal. And we do. The strings are not equal because I've actually changed it. Okay. As I've demonstrated before in class, strings are really a character array, an array of char, and each character in a string is tagged with an index, just like an array. So we can find the index of a specific character in our string. Now the problem with that is that it will only check, it'll only return the first value. So the first Y that I run into here I will receive the index of that position in W, and I will print it out on the screen here. Let me execute. And so the first Y shows up in position 9. The index of Y is 9. And that's not very remarkable, but it can be useful when you're trying to substring, and we will come to substring here in just a few demos. I decided to skip on to the substring method. Substring is valuable in that you can slice and dice your string and create strings with the concatenate. Those kind of activities are really important. Do the index of the beginning of a phrase and then cut out the phrase altogether. Those are valuable string operations. The string has two constructors. One takes one integer value, and what happens when you pass it one integer value as a parameter, it returns the remainder of the string. From that index on to the end of the string is returned in totality. Let's see. The 13th is right there at A shining moon. Now, if I wanted to cut out shining, the phrase shining, I probably should start with 13, 14, at the 14th character, and then it will cut out shining moon. But if I provide it, the other constructor has two integer values, the starting of the cut and the ending. So the starting index plus the number of characters of the string that you would like to remove will cut that particular string out. I'm going to try and cut out shining. Okay, like I've said, when you use the the backup constructor, there's more constructors in that string method of substring. I provide two integer values. One where you start the cut shining, the S probably is 15, I did count it, and then you add 3, 6, 8 to 15 and you receive 24. Or is it 9? 3, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 9. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to save it first and then execute. It should return the single shining. And it does. Now, those by far are not all of the string methods in the string class, but those are the ones that we cover in class, and those are the ones that we think are have to be able to understand and execute in the AP test. This has been a video study guide on string operation.